Got it, the shredder is here. You took out your resume, checked that there was no one around, and prepared to fit it into the shredder. Wait a second. You stopped what you were doing and then opened the shredder. Inside, you discovered that the shredded paper was about to overflow. If someone comes to collect the shredder paper first, won't the mastermind be unable to get my resume? Exactly, as long as the shredder isn't full, they probably won't collect it, right? You quickly reached in and pulled out about half of the shredded paper from the shredder. I'm really clever. You stared at the pile of shredded paper in your hand, unsure of where to dispose of it at the moment. Let's just leave it on the ground for now. I'll take it outside and dispose of it later. As soon as you placed it on the ground, a figure appeared out of nowhere, startling you and causing you to fall to the ground and scream. Oh no! Irina, it's me, don't be afraid. You calmed down and realized that Jing Yuduan stood before you, his face filled with apology. He extended his hand to help you up. You know, this guy might actually act in the way that he acts, but he actually might be the boss. You know, like you have like a 10 of guys that are like these, that they act like in a very gentle or naive manner, but then they end up being like those bastards, you know. You never know when that might happen. Because those are the best ones for you to never actually think about them as the bad guys. So I'm like looking at him and I'm kind of like thinking about it, like, what if, you know? I mean, because he cannot be like that stupid, like the other guys are making fun of him. And I'm like, he cannot be that stupid of a guy, you know. I'm sorry, did I startle you? Jin Yuduan, how did you suddenly pop up like that? Jin Yud... sorry. Jin Yuduan didn't respond to your question. Instead, he glanced at the pile of shredded paper on the floor. And then he made a casual gesture, causing the entire pile of shredded paper to vanish into thin air right before your eyes. All the shredded paper is gone. What's going on? This is my special ability. As long as there is garbage on the ground in the Land of Delight, I can immediately sense it. Not only can I teleport to the scene, but I can also send the trash to where it belongs. Wow, this ability is so OP. OP? It means overpowered. You mean I'm impressive? Yes. Yeah, sure, we can date all, right? So it's fine. But my ability only works when I'm cleaning. Cleaning is important, and not only can you sense the presence of trash, but you can also instantly move and transport it. It's practicality and superpower. But what I find most amazing about you is that even though you have such incredible abilities, you're still so friendly to everyone. Starting to have thoughts about that. I'm really that good? Why are you crying? Because no one has ever praised me like this before. Really, with how great you are, how could no one have praised you? It's okay, I'll praise you from now on. He reached out and gently patted Jin Yuduan. It's not coming now, it's just... it's not. It's just not coming. I think it's because it's so different to say something in English and try to say it in the Chinese way. And it happens to me all the time. It's like when I'm... the same thing when I'm talking in English and then I need to say something like in Spanish or something. It's like... because they are so different, you know, they are so different that when you start trying to say things in different languages, it's just... and the way... it's all a guttural thing, okay? Languages are all about the guttural thing. And with some, you need to roll more your tongue, and with the others, you don't. And with some of them you kind of like salivate more than others, so it's kind of like that. And when you are trying to change from one to the other, it's messy. It's not only messy in your mind, it's also messy with your tongue and the songs that you try to reproduce. So you reached out and gently patted Jing Yuduan head, offering him some encouragement. Irina, thank you. You are really kind to me. Affection increased. Your affection has grown. He suddenly felt something and couldn't help but blurt it out. Oh, there's more trash on the ground. This time it should be from a visitor. Then you should go quickly. All right, I'll be on my way. Goodbye. Excuse me. With those words, Jing Yuduan vanished into thin air, leaving you in amazement. That's amazing. I didn't know there was specialized cleaning yaoguai. It's really interesting. Oh, I almost forgot my mission for coming here. You quickly fed your resume into the shredder and left the warehouse. After some time, you and Mo Dan returned to the warehouse. You opened the shredder and found it empty. All the shredded paper had been taken away. It seems that the mastermind has already taken my resume. They took the bait. Well, I don't actually know, since the other guy was cleaning the trash, so it's kind of like, now it doesn't actually make sense to continue with that strategy, girl, right? Whatever. This is like a fictional script. Since you plan to reveal your human identity and use yourself as bait, why did you bother to shred your resume? Isn't that redundant? If we just casually left the resume laying around, the trap wouldn't be very obvious, would it? I see, although human minds may not be very clever, they are indeed craftier than yaoguais in many ways. I'll take that as a compliment. However, this trick isn't just a simple bait. I value my life. Is that so? I fail to see how this differs from a simple bait. Let me ask you, if the mastermind knew I was still alive, how do you think they would react? They will think that Bai Romu already knows their plan but is pretending not to be aware. Moreover, Bai Romu even sent you to pretend to be a yaoguai, clearly intending to investigate them. Exactly, you're really smart. I've already mentioned that I'm a scientist. Stop, I don't want to hear it a second time. Anyway, the mastermind has some concerns about Bai Romu. They wouldn't dare to harm me recklessly. But they are also afraid of being exposed. They must be planning something to cover their tracks. These are the moments when vulnerabilities are most likely to surface. If I probe everyone now, I might be able to expose the mastermind. I see, this plan uses the false information provided by Romu, creating the illusion that he is playing both sides. It's indeed not a simple bait. However, most yaoguai are quite simple, or perhaps very instinctual. Your probing might threaten their survival instincts. When they get nervous, they might just eat you on the spot. A yaoguai that can think of using an interview to deceive others probably doesn't have such poor psychological qualities, right? Maybe not, but your plan does seem very risky. You could end up losing your life. So before you go ahead with your plan, can we conduct an experiment? You make it sound like I'm doomed. That's okay, as long as we successfully develop a new antivenom. I will definitely include your name in the journal for future generations to admire. Modam. Head is full of experiments. My plan will succeed. I absolutely want to do the experiment first. Is he supposed to protect me? What I meant was, during the course of experiment, I will ensure your safety. Of course, to ensure the smooth progress of my experiment during this period, I won't allow any other yaoguai to eat you. But what if I get injured to the point where my body can't withstand the snake venom? What if I suffer severe psychological trauma, making it impossible for me to consent to the experiment? Well, face it, I'm perfectly fine, which is in your best interest for the experiment. Modan appeared puzzled and then cornered you against the wall. Moda, what are you trying to do? Calm down. Although you wanted to evade him, Modan's gaze seemed to have a kind of magic. You were completely frozen, unable to move, and can only let his snake-like pupils stare intently at you. Maybe I came on too strong and triggered his survival instincts. That doesn't make sense. His stress tolerance seems surprisingly low. I can't believe it has come to this. What? I have to admit that I lost to a human. You, with that barren mind, could figure out the stakes involved. And yet, with my intelligence, I couldn't see through it. It seems you do have some merit after all. Thank you. And could you please step back a bit? You're a little too close. Modan quickly distanced himself from you with a hurried explanation on his lips. I'm sorry, don't think too much about it. I don't even know why I'm like this. Oh, great. After all that, you just want me to protect your life. In any case, the mastermind knows I'm still alive. So when I go to test other yaoguai, having you protect me from the shadows is the best approach. While this is a crude and cumbersome method, it's still somewhat effective. I've actually grown accustomed to your ways of speaking and can't be bothered to complain anymore. Protecting you is no problem, but I have to attend an international conference later to present my research findings. So I won't be able to be by your side for a while. An international conference? That sounds impressive. Modan completely disregarded your surprise. He thought for a moment, then reached out and turned his sleeve towards you. When I'm not around, let this kid take care of protecting you. You stared at his sleeve with a puzzled expression. You saw a little snake slithering out from it. Are you talking about this little snake? Yes, this kid is called Palici. Is it more like in an Italian way? Palici. I don't know. Because I don't... Palici. Probably Palici. He can hide in your pocket and protect you in secret. Hold on, you're not planning to have it bite me in my pocket, right? So you can experiment with your new anti-venom? Oh, so there's this trick too. Why didn't I think of that? Humans can be quite cunning. This aspect is worth studying. Modan proceeded to speak to the little snake in a language you couldn't understand right in front of you. Then he allowed Palici to slither into your pocket. Don't worry, I've given instructions to Palici. He will ensure your safety. Why do I have a strange feeling? Did I just put myself in a weird situation? You wandered through the amusement park alone, searching for suspicious yaoguai, muttering to yourself. Moda is really going too far. He actually spoke a language I couldn't understand. I have no idea what he said to Palici in the end. You couldn't hide your anxiety and sneakily glanced at your pocket. Could he actually want Palici to find an opportunity to bite me? The more you thought about it, the more uneasy you felt, sensing that Palici in your pocket seemed to be restless. You finally couldn't help but take Palici out of your pocket and gently placed him on the ground. Palici, it's not that I don't trust you, it's just that your owner is capable of doing anything for his experiments. So just stick with me if you want, or if you'd rather not, feel free to go play on your own. As if Palici understood what you said, he slithered into the bushes nearby. You breathed a sigh of relief and then looked around. In the distance, there was a wetland. The blue water reflected the sky, and the sounds of insects and birds filled the air, while a gentle breeze brushed against your face. I didn't expect the Land of Delight to have such a beautiful place. You walked to the shore and recognized the familiar figure. Huh? Isn't that... Watery was lounging in the wetlands, looking completely at ease. Oh, so this is the pond that Watery was talking about. No wonder she likes it so much. You looked around cautiously. You you make it. Sorry, it's my hamster going on the wheel, making noises. You make it sure no one was nearby except for an orange cat napping in the shade by the wetlands. Alright, while there's no one around, I'll try to approach Watery. He stood by the shore, waving to Watery, and greeted her loudly. Watery, this is your home, isn't it? Watery didn't respond, but you didn't think too much of it. Right, Watery? I heard there are humans among the staff. Have you had any contact with humans recently? Let's go a roundabout. You say it like that, right? Roundabout way. This place is perfect for tourists to come and relax. Visitors, you mean humans? Yes. It's so damp and cold here. It's not suitable for humans at all. Watery immediately dove into the wetland, and you quickly hurried to explain to her. Watery, you misunderstood. That's not what I meant. Like, I wouldn't say this is a wetland. It's just a river. For me, a wetland is another type of thing. But I don't know if it has to do with the translation kind of thing, you know, because you look at this and you're like, wetland, and, you know, it doesn't feel like a wetland. However, Watery had already submerged herself in the water, casting a skeptical glance at you. Who are you? Why do you look kind of familiar? Huh? Just as Chopstick Deity said, Watery doesn't seem interested in many things. I'm Irina. The boss introduced me as the new employee today. Is that so? I don't remember. Well, it doesn't matter. With that statement, Watery fell silent. The two of you just stared at each other, an awkward tension hanging in the air. What's going on now? My awkwardness is about to kick in. Yeah. Let me tell you something, which I already noticed, and it's such a thing, which is, I don't know why, but especially I would feel it more in the Chinese community. They have a need to put something entertaining in terms of like comedy in everything that they do. Like anime, manga, even like the TV series, you know, they have this constant need to put some kind of like funny things in there. And I don't actually know why, but they have like this thing. And I was actually talking with my friend, a Singaporean friend, and he was like, yeah, that's true. He could not explain it to me because they are not very, like, Asian people are not very open to talk about things. But I was kind of like telling him that I feel like, although they like to do that, the kind of humor that they have in there most of the times do not reach us Westerners. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's like, yeah, there's human humor in there, but we don't feel it like this in the same way. And he was telling me, well, we feel exactly the same thing with most of your humor too. It doesn't approach us either. So it's like there's like this cultural thing too, which is in terms of the comedy and humor that it's used in there. And I'm not talking just about China. He is from Singapore, so like it's like an Asian kind of thing. Like they have like a type of humor in there, and we have our type of humor in here. And sometimes it doesn't, you know, like we don't understand their humor, and they don't understand our humor, so it gets awkward. It gets awkward, and I don't know. So yeah, like this situation. Obviously, they are trying to make a scene that it's funny, but you're like I'm reading it and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's supposed to be funny in here. You know, you keep feeling that. Watery. At that moment, an unfamiliar voice behind you broke the silence between you and Watery. The boss just talked about this in the morning. How could you forget so quickly? You turned around and were immediately stunned. The little cat that had been napping in the shadow not only came up to you, but also started speaking. A cat can talk? When Watery saw the orange cat, she immediately swam to the shore and hugged it tightly in her arms. Cat demon, you smell so nice and feel so soft. Can I borrow you for a moment to huff? The cat demon struggled free from Watery's embrace and leaped back to the shore. He began grooming himself while complaining all the while. Don't hug me, you're all wet, my fur is soaked now. Seeing Cat Demon's earnest grooming, you couldn't help but burst into laughter. If you didn't talk, I would have thought you were just a regular cat. I'm not just any ordinary cat. Humans are very afraid of me. Really? Legend has it that we cat demons love the scent of sesame oil chicken. We often sneak into the homes of newborn human babies when the adults aren't looking. We use our claws to grasp the baby's throat until they stop breathing. That's so terrifying. Cat Demon nodded smugly, and you thought for a moment before couldn't resist asking him. But a cat demon likes sesame oil chicken, so it should be going to steal some, right? What? This is not making sense, this sentence in here. Is it just me? But a cat demon likes sesame oil chicken, so it should be going to steal some rice. Yeah, one of those sentences that... Why would it want to harm a baby? What is the point of doing that? Well... Also, you mentioned a legend earlier. Have you actually done such things yourself? I faced with your questions, Cat Demon didn't quite know how to respond. After a moment's thought, he retorted with pretended indifference. When I'm a cat demon, I'm already in the land of delight. So I want to eat sesame oil chicken, and many other yaoguai can help me buy it. I see, meaning he hasn't done it before. Why are you looking at me like that? Do you look down on me? No, not at all. I just think that you're no different from ordinary cats, both opportunists. That's fine then. Cat Demon ignored you, focusing on grooming his paws. You looked at Cat Demon and Watery. It seems everyone has gotten used to life in the land of delight. This indeed can reduce the conflict between yaoguai and humans. Alright, to protect this peace, I must uncover the mastermind behind it all. You continue your search for suspicious yaoguai while deep in thought. Watery and Cat Demon are probably not the mastermind. Who could it be? You lifted your head and saw young Qingma walking towards you, waving in your direction. Irina, I've been looking for you. Looking for me. When Modam pretended to pick up your resume, young Qingma was also there. This made you more cautious. Do you have something you want to ask me? I just want to know what you like. Why do you want to know this? Don't ask so much, just tell me already. Well, something feels off. Is young Qingma testing me? After a moment's thought, you responded to him as if nothing was amiss. I like money. Unexpected little gifts. Sweet things. Money. I mean, I like money as any other person, but I am not the type of person, like, receiving money from your parents is one thing. Receiving money from other people, for me, is just awkward. For me, it's just awkward, okay? Getting sweet things, it's also cool, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I am not the type of person that likes to receive gifts as like something that you eat. I prefer to be like the one choosing myself. But that is because there's a story behind, you know, because I have my inflammatory disease. So it's always like that thing of like, it's going to have something that I cannot eat. And I like unexpected little gifts, but I like when they are made by the person the most. Those are the ones I like the most. It's like that feeling of, but it was made by that person. So yeah, let's put it more like that. Even if it's just a piece of candy or a small flower by the roadside, it makes me really happy. I see you're truly unique. Really, what's so unique about that? Unlike unique like a human, sorry. Well, I've only recently become a female ghost, so it's only natural. While you chuckled nervously, your mind raced with speculations. Young Qingman seems to be testing if I'm human. Why is he doing this? Suddenly, young Qingman grabbed your hand, interrupting your thoughts. Irina, come with me. Young Qingman didn't wait for your response and simply pulled you along. Where are you taking me? It's the break time for the operations team, and the show is about to begin. Young Qingman led you to a corner and pointed towards a nearby trash bin filled with trash. Look at that trash bin. You felt confusion as you looked in the direction of Young Qingman pointed. You saw Bamboo Ghost walking past the trash bin. It's break time now. I'll go find Big Sis and see if she needs any help. Are they going to pull another prank? Bamboo Ghost continued talking, but noticed that the trash bin was overflowing. The trash is overflowing and they still haven't collected it. Oh well, stepping on it should buy some more time. Bamboo Ghost walked up to the trash bin, lifted his foot and stomped down hard inside. Unexpectedly, when he stomped his foot down, a spray of water splashed out from the trash bin. How did water get in here? Bamboo Ghost was taken aback, quickly pulling his foot out of the trash bin. His entire leg, along with his pants and shoes, was soaking wet. He was furious and started shouting loudly. Who on earth poured water into the trash bin and even covered it with a layer of garbage as a disguise? You immediately had a hunch about who the culprit might be, and indeed you heard young Qingman laughter nearby. Bamboo Ghost, you fell for it again. Again? Big bro, you. If you're not happy, come and seek revenge on me. I'm looking forward to your pranks. Irina, let's run. Run again? I can't run as fast as you all. Young Qingman disappeared without a trace, leaving you and Bamboo Ghost here. Well, hi. Bamboo Ghost was not only disheveled, but also had a helpless expression on his face. You felt a bit sorry for him, so you took out a tissue and handed it to him. You should wipe yourself first. Bamboo Ghost took the tissue in disbelief and thanked you as he dried himself off. Irina, I've played pranks on you before and you're still so nice to me, thank you. Well, your pranks didn't work, so I don't really mind. Bamboo Ghost nodded but didn't say much more. You thought for a moment and could help but ask him. Bamboo Ghost, big brother, you play pranks on others too. Yeah, sure, really good. You can also play pranks on him. Isn't it nice to have a give and take? In fact, to Big Bro, we are no different from everyone else. As he spoke, his tone grew increasingly somber, and it felt as though he was somewhat helpless. No matter what Flying Dragon Silver and I do to Big Bro, we will always be nothing more than irrelevant people. After hearing what the Bamboo Ghost said, you couldn't help but be moved. I thought you three were a mischievous trio. Even though Big Bro always acts playful, he actually keeps his distance and has a rather cold demeanor. Even after working together with Ghost Bird and Wild Boar for so long. When he heard they were leaving, he didn't show any reaction. Before Bamboo Ghost could finish speaking, you blurted out, interrupting him. Are Ghost Bird and Wild Boar also employees of the operations team? Yes. Do they also call Yang Qingman a big bro? No, only me and Flying Dragon Silver call him that. Ghost Bird and Wild Boar usually call him boss, chief. Oh my god. I'm not very familiar with them, so I'm not entirely sure. Boss? Bamboo Ghost, unaware of your shock, checked the time and then smiled. Rest time is over, I should get back to work now. Irina, thanks for listening to me, I feel much better. He turned and walked away. You watched his departing figure, feeling a sense of sympathy. I didn't expect that even yaoguai have interpersonal relationship problems. You paused for a moment, contemplating the words that Bamboo Ghost had just shared with you. At the moment, it seems that Bamboo Ghost can temporarily be ruled out as a suspect. On the other hand, Yang Qingman is very familiar with the human world. Yeah, you are going to have like a lot of like the names in here, because I already told you in other streams, but I don't know, this might be like the first time that you are getting in here, that like in Chinese and Japanese, they do not use a lot of pronouns. So you will see a lot of name references coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. Yeah. That's why when you localize the games, you try to use the pronouns a lot more, you know, because they do not use them, okay? So yeah, you're going to deal with a lot of names being repeated and repeated and repeated, because this was probably a machine translation kind of thing. He could easily trick humans into coming here to devour them. He also seemed to be testing me earlier. It's not that they do not have pronouns, okay? Let me just put it out there. They do, it's just they do not use them as we use them, okay? Is there any way to confirm whether he is the mastermind behind all this? You were lost in your own thoughts, completely unaware that Islander was quietly approaching you. It wasn't until a cold hand gently rested on your shoulder that you were suddenly jolted back to reality. Irina, here we meet again. You turn your head only to see Islander standing right behind you, accompanied by a group of menacing yaoguai. Yeah, what a coincidence. Islander grinned, but his smile was unnerving, making the situation even more unsettling. Can you come with us to a place? I have something to tell you. Is there something that can be said here? Islander didn't answer, he just stared at you in silence like a mute threat. All right, I understand, I don't really have a choice, do I? With an uneasy heart, you left with Islander and his group. Islander led you to another section of the amusement park. Here, there were no visitors in sight, just a few scattered employees. You guys get rid of anyone who's not involved. Yes. With a command from Islander, several other yaoguai quickly carried out his orders. Soon, only you and Islander remained in the vicinity. Oh no, are they planning to do something harmful to me? The thought crossed your mind and you subconsciously reached out, tightly gripping the amber bracelet that Bai Romu had given to you. Islander approached you, revealing a terrifying smile that sent shivers down your spine. We cleared this place out on purpose so no one would see. You felt a jolt of fear and countless possibilities flashed through your mind. Oh no, are they planning to teach me a lesson? Or have they discovered I'm human? Or you try to keep calm, casually coming up with an excuse, planning to take the opportunity to leave. I have a very important task assigned by my boss, so I have to go. Unexpectedly, Islander and his group bowed deeply to you. Irina, we are so sorry. Huh? We didn't know you were the boss's special assistant before. That's why we act against you. Please forgive us. You were completely confused about the situation, and the tension in your heart shattered in an instant. Wait, what on earth is this nonsensical development? You were completely bewildered, and it took you several seconds to finally realize what was happening. Modern was right. These yaoguai are really simple-minded. I overreacted. You quickly changed your tone and smiled as you spoke to the group led by Islander. No worries, those are all in the past. Let's get along well from now on. Islander immediately straightened up and gave orders to the other yaoguai. You all heard what Irina said. Starting today, she's one of us and we should all take care of her. Got it. The yaoguai lined up and saluted you once again. You breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. At that moment, you felt something tugging at your foot and you looked it down. Palichi, what are you doing here? You saw Palichi wrapping his tail around your foot and trying hard to pull you away. Did you misunderstand something? They didn't have any ill intentions towards me. Palichi seemed not to understand your words and continued to stubbornly try to pull you away. You looked at Palichi in confusion when suddenly something fell from above and landed at your feet. Is this a screw? You looked up and saw a massive billboard above you, swaying dangerously. You hadn't reacted in time, and the massive billboard came crashing down towards you without warning. Whoa, ah! Okay. The end of the chapter. We're still going to get more, okay. The massive billboard about to crash onto you, there was simply no time for you to dodge. At this critical moment, with fate hanging by a thread, you heard the familiar voice whispering in your ear. Irina, be careful. Suddenly, Jing Yuduan appeared by your side, moving at a speed beyond human capability. He scooped you up around the waist and leaped to the side. Almost simultaneously, there was a deafening crash right behind you. However, you were left in a state of shock, completely unresponsive. Jin Yuduan, I have problems saying this one, noticing your condition, asked with some concern. Are you okay? You slowly came back to your senses and without thinking turned your head to look, gasping in shock. The massive billboard had already crashed to the ground, shattered into a heap of debris. How could something like this happen? As you spoke, you suddenly realized that others had just been standing beside you, anxiously shouting. Oh no, Islander and the others were also hit by the billboard. When Jing Yuduan saw how worried you were, he spoke to you gently with a soothing tone, smiling as he said, You don't need to worry, they are all very strong yaoguai. Right, they are yaoguai, but I'm human. If it wasn't for Jing Yuduan's timely intervention, I might not be here right now. You couldn't continue thinking further, and your body trembled involuntarily from fear. Feeling your trembling, Jing Yuduan held you a little tighter and jokingly said, Luckily, I deemed the screw that fell to the ground as garbage. It turns out my ability still has some use. You turned to look at him and realized that you were still in his arms. Thank you for saving me. You quickly thanked Jing Yuduan, feeling a bit embarrassed as you said, You can let go now. Jing Yuduan nodded and was about to let go when he suddenly frowned slightly, as if realizing something. The scent on you, it's a bit different. Is this the scent of a human? You were startled and quickly glanced at your wrist, only to discover that your amber bracelet was no longer on you. Where's my bracelet? You didn't care that Jing Yuduan was still holding you and hurriedly looked down to search around. The amber bracelet lay quietly at Jing Yuduan's feet. You gasped and quickly reached out to pick it up. That. However, since you were still in Jing Yuduan's arms, you couldn't move and could only struggle within his embrace. Jing Yuduan followed your gaze and looked down to see the amber bracelet at his feet. It must have come off when I saved you just now. He releases his hold on you, then pick up the amber bracelet. Yeah, it gets really tiresome for you to just like be saying the name and 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 the name. It's like every sentence you keep having like the same name, you know, it gets exhausting. But he didn't immediately return it to you. Instead, he stared thoughtfully at the bracelet in his hand. I hope he didn't realize I'm human, did he? After a moment of contemplation, he lifted his head and wore a meaningful expression. Why do you have the scent of a human on you? Well, this is because... sure, and I only recently died. Well, I don't know. Could this one be better? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It must be their scent, right? Jin Yuduan leaned in closer to you, even taking a moment to inhale your scent. You're right, it must be the scent from the visitors. Yes, his reaction is really strange. Does he suspect that I'm human? At that moment, Islander voice could be heard from the wreckage of the billboard debris. Irina, are you okay? You... God. You turned your head. You turned your head to see Islander approaching you and Jin Yuduan. I'm not wearing the amber bracelet now. If they get too close, they'll definitely smell the human scent on me. You stared at the amber bracelet in Jin Yuduan's hand, desperately trying to figure out how to get it back. My bracelet? Unexpectedly, he suddenly turned and glared at Islander, sternly commanding him to stop. Don't come any closer. Islander was taken aback by Jin Yuduan's authority, frozen in place and unable to move. He turned back to you, took your hand, and placed the amber bracelet in your palm. This bracelet must be something important to you. Put it on quickly. Okay, thank you. Although Jin Yuduan's actions left you somewhat uneasy, you hurriedly put on the amber bracelet. He saw you wearing the amber bracelet and then turned to give you orders to Islander. Let's establish a perimeter first, ensuring the safety of the visitors. And until we figure out the cause of this incident, we should preserve the scene as much as possible. Yes. You remembered that just before the billboard came crashing down, Palici was about to pull you away from the scene. By the way, where's Palici? You looked around, but couldn't find any trace of Palici. A sense of foreboding washed over you. You quickly ran to the wreckage of the billboard to search, and indeed you found the injured Palici. Palici, you're bleeding. You quickly took off your coat, gently placed Palici onto it, and then cradled it in your arms. Don't worry, I'll find someone to help you right away. You'll be fine. You held Palici in your arms and walked quickly over to where Jin was. Jin Yuduan, please save Palici. He got hurt because he tried to save me. He showed a troubled expression and feeling a bit dejected. I'm really sorry, I wish I could help, but I don't possess any healing abilities. Take him to find Byron Mu or Modan. But Modan is away at the international conference. It's okay, I'll take him to find Byron Mu, thank you. You hurriedly made your way towards the office building, your mind solely focused on saving Palici. Suddenly, you caught a glimpse of a sneaky figure not far away, peering at the scene of the incident. Yang Qingmang, why is he hiding there? Could he really be the mastermind? I don't have time to think about this now. Saving Palici is the priority. You rushed into Byron Mu's office with Palici shouting loudly. Byron Mu, please save Palici. Byron Mu and White Deer were in the office, seemingly discussing something important. You ran up to Byron Mu anxiously. Please save Palici. He seated at his desk, glanced at you briefly, and then lowered his head to review some documents. You were taken aback for a moment, still processing what was happening, when White Deer spoke up to Bairomu first. Boss, take your time to go through these documents. White Deer turned to leave and whispered a sentence to you. Irina, take care. You watched White Deer hurriedly leave the office, leaving you alone with Bairomu. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Bairomu continued to pay no attention to you, engrossed in documents. After some thought, you cautiously asked him, Boss, are you angry? Did you hear about what happened to me? But it was just an accident. I had no idea why the billboard. Bairomu suddenly raised his head and gave you a stern look. You closed your mouth immediately. However, he continued to frown and remained silent. You spoke up and asked him, You must already know about my plan, don't you? Bairomu didn't respond, but it was evident from the change in his expression that he was indeed very angry. It seems you found out. You didn't have time to explain, so you decided to show him Palichi you were holding in your arms. Boss, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have secretly carried out my plan without telling you. I know I was wrong. But Palichi got hurt because of me. Can you please help treat him first? Bairomu looked at you and responded with a cold and icy tone. I refuse. Why? If you hadn't kept it a secret from me and revealed the human identity, if you hadn't gone to test yaoguai on your own, this little snake wouldn't have gotten hurt. You know all this in such detail? Have you forgotten that I am the sacred white Qidong tree deity? All the plants here are my informants. With the information I received, it wasn't hard to figure out your plan. But what does this have to do with Palichi? Actions without thinking have consequences. So I don't intend to treat the little snake. Consider it a lesson for you. Your expression turned incredulous. You couldn't believe his actions and were unable to accept them. Bairomu. This is alive. If you're not happy, take it out on me. Yeah, it is. How can you use Palichi to teach me a lesson? Of course I can. What did you say? The yaoguai world has always been a survival of the fittest. Without sufficient strength, you'll be at the mercy of others. You'll better remember this lesson too. This isn't a human world. The lives of the weak are always in the hands of the strong. Faced with Bairomu's arrogant attitude, you couldn't contain the anger and blurted out. What's wrong with you, seriously? What? I was too naive. I actually thought you yaoguais were similar to humans. The mastermind, the shelter of Yaoguais, I don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. It's all up to you guys. You gently placed Palichi on Bairomu's desk and spoke to him in a low voice. Bairomu won't ignore you. He's just mad at me right now. Once I leave, try asking him nicely. Without so much as a glance at Bairomu, you turned on your heel and stormed out of the office. Inside the dimly lit haunted house, you crouched in a corner alone. You looked around timidly, recalling the events that had unfolded on your first day at the Land of Delight. I once encountered yaoguais here and almost got caught and eaten. Then why did you went there again? Oh my god, girl. Thinking about it that way, haunted houses don't seem scary at all. You couldn't help but sigh and said with a sense of introspection. If Bairomu hadn't intervened back then, I probably wouldn't be in the human world anymore and we wouldn't be having this argument. Actually, I can understand why he's angry. You heard footsteps approaching from a distance and you immediately looked up, alert. Jin Yuduan walked over to you, looking a bit worried as he asked you, Irina, did you have an argument with Bairomu? You heard what I said just now? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. It's okay, you don't have to apologize to me. Actually, it should be me who did something wrong and got scolded by him. Jin Yuduan sat down beside you and then looked at you with a concerned expression. Are you hiding here alone because you feel upset from being scolded? You shook your head, wearing a faint, bitter smile. I know that despite Romu's cold exterior, he's actually a soft-hearted person. He's only refusing to treat Palichi because he's mad at me. So as long as I disappear from Romu's side, I believe he will definitely treat Palichi. Jin Yuduan remained silent, just staring at you with a serious expression. What's wrong with you? Why are you looking at me like that? Irina, you're really a very special person. Am I? Did I? Because you can empathize and consider others. This is something that many yaoguai can do. Jin Yuduan words made you feel better and you smile at him. Thank you for coming to comfort me. You really are gentle. Being praised by Irina makes me very happy. Seeing the happy expression on him, you think to yourself, does Jin Yuduan already know that I'm human? But I feel like being honest with him doesn't really matter. You thought for a while and decided to confess to him. Jin Yuduan, I want to tell you something. Actually, I am unexpectedly. He didn't wait for you to finish speaking and interrupted you. You don't have to tell me anything special. I really don't mind. I'm a yaoguai with deep connections to humans, so I'm confident. Whether it's human or yaoguai, I can be friends with all of them. You nodded vigorously, replying with a smile. Great, we are friends from now on. Jin Yuduan first displayed a contented smile, but then he changed the subject, saying with a hint of sadness, but I really envy Bai Romu. Why do you envy him? Because your relationship with him is really good, that's why you argue with him. I don't want to fight with you, I want us to get along better. What should I do? Jin Yuduan. Come, you're so good at flirting. Arguing means the relationship isn't good. Yeah, I mean, there are so many things that you could say about this. Because, like, I'm thinking about the first relationship that I had. We stayed together for some years, and let me tell you, we really weren't made for each other, and we didn't actually argue a lot with each other. So arguing with the other person doesn't actually mean that there's a problem. Also, it doesn't mean that you really love each other. Okay, so it's like I wouldn't get that as, because it depends a lot of personalities and how people react to each other. And yes, sometimes arguing might mean that there's a good relationship in there, but sometimes it can also mean that it isn't. So you cannot take it as like a point given for that situation. I wouldn't say this. Arguing means that it isn't good. I don't want to argue with you either. Yeah, sure. Isn't this good? So I can continue to be nice to you. If you're willing, then of course. Great, I got it. With Jin Yuduan's company, you gradually calmed down, but a sense of guilt began to well up in your heart. I was too impulsive just now and said some bad things to Bai Romu. I should apologize to him proactively. I don't think you should blame yourself too much. Like the translation in here, you really feel it rough sometimes. Like you really feel it rough. It's like you can do this game. You can do it. You can understand most of it, but sometimes you really feel like the translation is like that thing. I don't think you should blame yourself too much. I believe Bai Romu understands that. You are just so worried about Palichi, and he'll forgive you. You're right, I'll go find him now. When you left the haunted house, it was already dusk. Jin Yuduan headed to the accident site, leading the maintenance team to continue the cleanup work. He stood alone outside the office building, looking up at the window of Byromu's office. He's probably still busy, so I'll wait for him here to avoid disturbing his work. However, Byromu still hadn't appeared. It's already so late, Byromu might not even be in the office, right? I was really foolish waiting here without confirming it first. Oh, I bet he is still there. But there is another thing that there's a tendency like to do, which is like he knows, but he still prefers that you are outside kind of repenting. Yeah, there's also that. You saw White Deer coming out of the office building and quickly approached her. White Deer, is the boss still in the office? White Deer gave you a meaningful look, then flashed a friendly smile and said sympathetically, Irina, you've really angered the boss this time. I haven't seen him this angry in a long time. I can't go into the details, but I really didn't mean to. White Deer nodded and then smiled to reassure you. You can't really be blamed for this. The boss is the guardian deity of humans. He has an unusual obsession with protecting them. Guardian deity. No wonder he got mad. But I'm not a human. Do you know where the boss is? Okay, yeah, sure. You suddenly realize that you had let something slip and were about to correct yourself. The boss must have thought I looked like a human, so White Deer directly interrupted you. You don't need to explain. Actually, I've been suspicious that you might be a human because of the boss's unusual behavior. He's the CEO of Rowa Group. He spends most of his time at the company in the meetings, rarely coming to the land of the light. But ever since you arrived, he's been here for the past 2 days, just to make sure you're safe and sound. I see, so Byromu is so protective of me, and I said those things to him. Like, Byromu impersonates the typical guy that the Chinese female women love the most, which is the cold and collected. Chinese women love this type the most, let me tell you. Yeah, like you always have the cold and collected in any type of like Otome situation, okay? They love them. The boss and even like romances or TV dramas or something, like they love them. The boss didn't voluntarily tell me, which means he didn't want me to know. So I had to test you to figure out how to help him. I'm very sorry, I hope you don't mind. Seeing White Deer apologizing sincerely, you quickly responded to her. I don't mind, you just focus on doing your job. White Deer smiled warmly at you, making you feel a sense of warmth in your heart. Don't worry, I'll also help keep this secret. The boss cares about your safety so much, so of course I have to help protect you. White Deer, thank you. The boss is currently at the accident scene investigating the cause of the billboard falling. You can go find him now. All right, I'll go there right away. Okay, so he wasn't in here. But it would be kind of like another Chinese kind of thing. Like, yeah, he knew that she was in there and he would just not go because he's the cold and collected type of guy. Yeah, that's like the thing. But apparently he really wasn't in here. You arrived at the location of the daytime incident where a security perimeter had been set up. From a distance, you could see Byromu and Ting Yuduan in deep discussion. Who was responsible for the routine inspection this morning? That would be me, but during the routine check, I didn't find any issues with billboard and all the screws were properly secured. You couldn't have made a mistake in the maintenance, so it seems this is not a simple accident. Are you suggesting that someone deliberately caused this accident with the intention of harming Irina? Before Jin Yuduan could finish speaking, Islander interjected. Could it be done by ghost bird and wild boar? Well, Bamboo Ghost immediately jumped in with a dissatisfied expression to counter. Islander, our big bro isn't here right now. You can't just blame everything on the operations team. Exactly, and you all brought Irina here. And then the billboard conveniently falls? That's suspicious. Don't accuse me falsely, or I won't be polite to you. If you want to prove your innocence, then please explain why you brought Irina here in the first place. Well, can't find the words to explain, huh? I think this accident is all the doing of your maintenance team. Say that again? As tensions rose and it seemed like a confrontation was about to happen, Islander noticed you and immediately waved. Irina, you arrived just in time. Come and help us sort this out. He noticed me from this far away. I'm really not good at dealing with situations like this. You approached everyone with an awkward expression, forced a smile, and spoke to help diffuse the tension. Let's all stay calm for now. Situation isn't clear yet. I don't think it's Ghostburn. It is true. It is true that he got us in here to clear up this misunderstanding with me. And if they were behind this, wouldn't it be too obvious? Did you hear that? Irina said so. Are you still suspecting me? Well, the situation is pretty clear now. Ghostbird and wild boar are the prime suspects. What? That's not what I meant. Irina, you can't just advocate for the maintenance team, you should also consider the operations team. No matter what you said, the operations team and the maintenance team started arguing again. Byromu, with an aura that didn't need anger to impose authority, casually dropped the sentence. Stop arguing. Everyone quickly fell silent, and the scene immediately quieted down. Regardless of who caused this incident, what's the purpose of targeting Irina, who just arrived today? Besides, at the scene, not only Irina, but also Islander and the others were affected. So the culprit's target may not necessarily be Irina. But the problem is that a billboard alone wouldn't harm a yaoguai. Could it be that they did this to cause a disturbance and make us suspend operations? If that's the case, the culprit is very likely a human. Jin Yuduan heard the discussion and couldn't hide his concern as he glanced at you. You couldn't help but lower your head. Here, I'm the only human, so the culprit's target should be me. Byromu noticed your reaction and understood that you were worried. He quickly announced to everyone. In any case, I'll thoroughly investigate this matter and you all should stop making baseless speculations. Everyone, you've worked hard, go back and rest. At Byromu's command, the Yaoguais dispersed one by one, leaving the scene. As Jin Yuduan passed by you, he quietly said, Irina, now is a good time for you to apologize to Byromu. Jin Yuduan left you with other Yaoguai, leaving you with Byromu. Byromu, there's something I need to tell you. He took a deep breath and then poured out all the words you wanted to say to him. I'm sorry for revealing my human identity without permission and for recklessly testing the reactions of the Yaoguai. Today's incident likely targeted me. It's all because of my thoughtless actions making you worried. You've been working so hard to protect me, yet I said those hurtful words to you. Please forgive me. Byromu's facial expression softened visibly, but the words that came out of his mouth were completely different. Just a mere human. It doesn't take much effort to protect you. And I'm the sacred white Qingdongtree deity. How could I care about the things a mere human says? Furthermore, you are obviously so fragile, yet you lack self-awareness. I can only protect you well. Huh? Byromu, seeing your shocked expression, suddenly realized what he had said and began to blame himself. That's not what I meant. What am I even saying? Then what do you mean? You couldn't help but burst into laughter at Bai Romu's awkward and hesitant demeanor. Bai Romu. You also get flustered sometimes. He would actually probably like one of these the most. But yeah, I understand what you mean. Thank you. You understand what I mean? You're telling me not to worry and that you'll continue to protect me. Bai Romu paused in surprise, then stared straight at you without saying a word. Why are you staring at me like that without saying anything? It's nothing, I just feel humans are truly fascinating creatures. Bai Romu suddenly took a step forward, closing the distance between you two. Bai Romu? He gently took your hand and carefully examined the amber bracelet on your wrist. There's a tiny scratch on the amber above. It must have happened when the billboard fell earlier today. Will this affect the bracelet's power? Will my human scent... Don't worry, a small scratch like this won't have any impact. It's just... Just what? It just won't look as nice when you wear it. Bai Romu extended his other hand and casually flicked the amber bracelet. You widened your eyes and couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. The scratch disappeared. That's amazing. The amber on the bracelet was not only perfectly intact, but its sheen was even more radiant than before. All right. Bai Romu gently released your hand and took a step back, creating some distance between the two of you. Well, thank you. Okay. You and Bai Romu finally opened up and talked, both of you feeling relieved and much more relaxed. By the way, did you notice anything suspicious when the accident happened today? Well, should I tell Bai Romu that Yang Jingmang was hiding and watching when the accident occurred? Images of Bai Romu taking down Ghost Bird and Wild Boar flashed through your mind. But I don't have any proof. If I say something without evidence, could it lead to serious consequences? Maybe it's better to wait and observe for now. No. All right, just be careful, okay? You can tell me any plans you have. Just make sure not to act on your own again, okay? Got it. Also, I've already healed Palichi and sent him back to Modan. If you're worried, you can go check on him. That's great. I knew you wouldn't leave Palichi unattended. Bai Romu didn't say much in response, but he smiled faintly at you. You arrived at Modan's lab and found Palichi and Modan's together. Palichi, I've come to see you. Palichi immediately slithered towards you with a lively demeanor. That's great, I'm relieved to see you, so energetic. You looked at Palichi, your expression dimming as guilt washed over you. You worked so hard to protect me, and yet I doubted you would bite me. I'm sorry. Palichi gently touched your cheek with his tail as if trying to comfort you. Thank you, you're comforting me even after everything. Now I feel even guiltier. Oh right, let me check how your wound is healing. Upon closer examination, you were amazed to discover that the wounds on Palichi's body had miraculously healed. Bai Romu's healing ability is really amazing. Modan let out a disdainful snort and didn't seem particularly impressed. For minor flesh wounds, it's okay to rely on Bai Romu's ability. After all, he's the sacred white Qidong tree deity. He can use the forces of nature to accelerate this kid's natural recovery. If the injuries were more severe, even Bai Romu would have to put in more effort. You were bitten by the venomous snake last time. Even with the antivenom, you would have needed to be in the hospital for at least a week. But because you received my special antivenom, you healed overnight. You've said so much. What are you trying to convey? Nothing. I'm just making an objective analysis of my and Bai Romu's healing abilities. Are you implying that you're even more powerful than Bai Romu? You finally arrived at correct understanding of this matter, and I'm glad for it. I didn't expect that Modan would actually care about me praising Bairomu. You found this newfound discovery quite intriguing and asked him, Moda, are you worried about losing to him, so you care about my opinion? Aren't you a genius scientist? Okay, I should say it's been a long time. Okay, are you worried about losing to him, so you care about my opinion? I don't care about your opinion. I care about whether your opinion is correct or not. I simply think Bairomu's healing abilities are impressive. I never said he's better than you. What's incorrect about that opinion? Well, because your opinion is too subjective, it's my duty to correct you. My opinion is too subjective. Hold on, by correcting me, you're showing that you care about my opinion. Modan was reddened speechless by your remark and could only let out a weak hum in response. You decided not to continue the argument and instead followed Modan's lead, offering him a slight compliment. However, I heard that being bitten by a venomous snake is extremely painful, but I hardly felt anything. It shows that your special anti-venom is really amazing. Isn't that just natural? You noticed a faint upward curve at the corner of his mouth, indicating that he was secretly pleased. If your special antivenom is so powerful, why hasn't it become more widespread? Because this antivenom is made from an extremely rare snake venom. This type of snake venom is only available to me, so it can't be widely used. I see you used such a precious antivenom to help me. Modan, thank you. Upon hearing your sincere gratitude, Modan seemed a bit taken aback, quickly changing the subject. There's nothing to thank me for, let's get back to the main point. I heard as soon as I came back today that you were almost hit by the billboard. It means your plan is working and the mastermind decided to target you. So did you find any clues today? Today... You told Modam everything that happened today in detail. But you still had reservations and didn't tell him that you saw young Qingmang at the scene. So you've been busy all day and almost got yourself killed and you didn't find anything. Well, I even acted out a silly play with you and it was all for nothing. At least I ruled out the watery and cat demon, they probably aren't the mastermind. Although there are some individual differences. Water ghost and cat demon fundamentally don't eat humans. You just need to have a basic understanding of the characteristics of these yaoguai. You can know that there's a good chance they are not the mastermind. No need for an investigation. You suddenly widened your eyes looking at him and blurted out, "Right, I should have learned about the characteristics of yaoguai first. Why didn't you say so earlier? Isn't that obvious? I thought you knew." Never mind, forget it. You no longer paid attention to Modan and lowered your head in contemplation, mumbling to yourself. Bairomu is the sacred white Qingdong tree deity. Watery is a water ghost, Big Sis is a female ghost. And there's also white deer, chair girl, bamboo ghost, and flying dragon silver. You thought of something and looked up at Modan, then abruptly asked him, "By the way, what kind of yaoguai are you?" Modan responded without much thought, showing no signs of hiding anything. "I'm a half-breed, the child of a serpent god and a human woman." The serpent god, so you are like a god's offspring, that's impressive. No wonder everyone calls him Lord Mo. Okay. Modan couldn't help but sigh in frustration, and he began to complain. "No matter how impressive my dad is, he's still a hopeless romantic." Hopeless romantic? Yep, my dad used to pester me every day, asking me to find true love just like him. But I'm more interested in research. In the end, he annoyed me so much that I ran away from home and came to live here. Run away from home. My dad wouldn't give up on me. He sent me a pot of love blossom. He said that it would bloom yellow flower if I found true love. Wow, your dad is really persistent. I'm curious about what the love blossom looks like. Could you show me? Modan nodded, and suddenly a potted plant appeared out of thin air in his hands. He placed the plant in front of you. You noticed that the flowers in the pot had withered completely and were in a sore state. What is this? It's the love blossom. You couldn't conceal your astonishment and gave the potted plant another look before questioning Modan. Have you been neglecting to water it? The love blossom doesn't need water. What it needs is love. And unfortunately, love is the only thing I like the most. Modan shrugged with a seemingly indifferent expression. You extended your hand and gently touched the love blossom in sympathy. Oh, love blossom, you're really so beautiful. To your surprise, as soon as your hand touched the love blossom, it disintegrated into ashes, leaving nothing behind. How did this happen? You realized your grave mistake and hastily grabbed Modan's hand, apologizing repeatedly. I'm so sorry, I really didn't mean to, I'm sorry. Modan? Will you end up alone for life? Do you want me to take responsibility? How could you be responsible? I'll apologize to your dad and ask him to send another pot of love blossom for you. Please, I beg you not to. If my dad sees you, he'll think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Opportunity for what? An opportunity to force me into a romantic relationship. But I'm not your true love. How do you know? Huh? True love is an unscientific concept and can only be tested in unscientific ways. Now that the love blossom has withered, there's no way for us to prove if you are my true love. Do you even know what you're saying? Of course, it's a matter of logic. Logic, your misconceptions about true love run deep. Modan picked up the empty pot and he vanished from his hands into thin air. Anyway, it turned out the way I wanted it, so you don't have to feel guilty. Upon hearing Modan's words, a thought flickered through your mind. Who would have thought that a hopeless romantic could give birth to a child with a science mindset? You returned to your room, holding your phone, contemplating and muttering to yourself. Different yaoguai have different abilities and characteristics, and not all yaoguai are man-eaters. What Modan said is true. The more I understand yaoguai, the more helpful it is for the investigation. And no matter what kind of yaoguai the mastermind is, I have some information about them, means I'll at least know how to deal with them. Okay. Alright, that's the plan. You picked up your phone and started searching for information about yaoguais on the internet. I'll start by looking for information about Bairomu. You typed in sacred white Qingdong tree deity, and a plethora of search results immediately appeared. Qingdong tree deity is considered a local deity and many people worship it. I never thought Bairomu was actually a god, no wonder he's so powerful. After browsing through the information about Bairomu, you proceed to search for Modan. I didn't realize there were so many legends of the serpent god marrying human women. And in these stories, the token of affection is always a flower. Could this be Modan's love blossom? Unknowingly, these peculiar stories about yaoguai piqued your curiosity. You used cleaning and yaoguai as keywords to investigate what kind of yaoguai Jing Yutuan was. As long as you make offerings to the specter Qin, this type of yaoguai can perform various tasks assigned by humans. But the price is... it has to eat one person per year. Spectre Qin is a man-eating yaoguai. But Jin Yudwan is so gentle. I don't think he would eat people, so he shouldn't be a specter Jin. Yeah, I was like, yeah, because sometimes they are like really gentle and careful, and you never know. You search for a fog creating yaoguai, because when you first met young Jingmeng, the mountain was filled with fog. Yingting Stone, Toad Spirit, Mischief Elf, and the animals like the elephant, leopard, lion, and tiger from Four Beasts Mountain. There are too many Yaoguais that can control mist. Which one is Yang Jingmeng? You continue to search for information about Yaoguai, and it was already past midnight. The bamboo ghost disguises itself as a fallen bamboo pole in the middle of the road. Anyone who crosses it will spring up and steal that person's soul. Those who aren't blessed and find flying dragon silver, if they try to claim it as their own, they will bring disaster upon themselves. It's not worth it. As you researched, you felt your eyelids becoming heavier and heavier. I'm so tired, let's call it a day with the research for today. You let out a big yawn, then set your phone aside and went to bed. Halfway through your sleep, you were suddenly jolted awake by a cold sensation. Why is it suddenly so cold? You slowly open your eyes in confusion. How did I get here? The sight before you left you shocked. This wasn't your room, it was the mountain path deep within the land of delight. Is this a dream? You quickly pinched your own arm with force. It hurts, this isn't a dream. You fully woke up, realizing that not only had you changed clothes, but the soles of your shoes were caked in mud. I walked here by myself, but I've never sleepwalked before. You noticed that something important was missing from your person. What about the amber bracelet Bai Romu gave me? A sense of foreboding washed over you, and the memory of the mischief elf Yaoguai you had read about last night flashed through your mind. I think I've heard before that. Mischief elf can bewitch the heart, leading people deep into the mountains, causing them to get lost and unable to find their way back. A thick fog suddenly enveloped your surroundings, obscuring your vision in an instant. Why did the fog suddenly roll in? I remember that mischief elf can control mist. Could I really have encountered it? Unable to see the path ahead, you felt a sense of panic, but you still tried to calm yourself. I need to get out of here quickly. The path down the mountain should be in that direction. Summoning your courage and relying on your memory, you sprint in the direction of the park. Let me do a save in here, because I know we have a bad ending, so I'm like, Ignoring the danger, you continue running in the mountains, but no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't escape the forest. I've been running for so long, why haven't I seen the amusement park yet? Did I take the wrong path? You slowed your pace, surveyed your surroundings, trying to find the right direction. Where on earth is this? I didn't even bring my phone. What should I do? A familiar voice called out to you from behind. Irina. Yang Qingmang. Thank goodness someone came to rescue me. I'm over here. Just as you yelled in response, you suddenly realized something. An alarm bell rung in your mind. Wait, why is Yang Qingmang here? He was lurking at the accident scene yesterday and even tested me to see if I was human. Is he really the mastermind? Yang Qingmang's voice echoed through the thick fog, breaking your train of thought. Irina, don't run around, I'm coming to find you. Oh no, Yang Qingmang is coming, I need to escape quickly. You immediately picked up your pace, determined to get away from him. Irina, it's dangerous over there, don't go. Your footsteps suddenly missed a step and you tumbled downwards. Ah! You squeezed your eyes shut in fear, bracing yourself for the impact that was about to come. You fell to the ground. But the impact wasn't as severe as you had anticipated, and the ground was softer than you had imagined. What's going on? You looked puzzled and cautiously opened your eyes. The thick fog had started to dissipate, and as you looked up, you suddenly realized that you had fallen down a cliff. I fell from such a high place. Why do I feel like I'm not seriously hurt? Before you could say anything, you heard Yang Qingmeng's voice coming from below. Sorry, could you please get up? You looked down only to discover that you were sitting on Yang Qingmeng. Yang Qingmeng. You quickly got up and moved away from Yang Qingmeng, staring at him with an incredulous expression. Did you catch me down there? Although he appeared somewhat disheveled, he didn't seem to mind and simply nodded with a smile. Why did you save me? Why wouldn't I save you? You brought me here and created this thick fog, wasn't it? For you found out about my prank, huh? Prank! Yang Qingmeng got up from the ground, brushed off the dust on his clothes, and left. Yeah, I'm a mischief elf with the power to bewitch hearts. You felt so human to me, and I thought, maybe my power could work on you. I never expected it to actually work. Because I really am a human. And I was worried Bai Romu would find out, so I controlled you to take off the bracelet. How did you know the bracelet was from Bai Romu? It had his scent on it. When you heard the word scent, you felt a shock and quickly took several steps back. Oh no, if Yang Qingmeng smells the scent on me. Irina, what's wrong with you? Are you mad? In a moment of inspiration, you decided to follow Yang Qingmeng's words and pretended to be angry, scolding him. That's right, I'm mad. Your prank this time was way too much, not fun at all. I want to go back. As soon as you finished speaking, you turned to leave. Yang Qingmeng was one step ahead, blocking your path with a speed that exceeded human capabilities. Wait, my prank isn't over yet. Yang Qingmeng pulled out a flower wreath and handed it to you. As you examined it closely, you saw that the wreath was woven from various small and cute flowers looking incredibly delicate. Is this for me? Yeah, don't you like unexpected little gifts? It's a flower wreath I made myself. Did it shock you? Is this your prank? Yang Qingmeng beamed with a bright smile, watching as you nodded, and you bursted into a laughter. It's such a beautiful flower wreath. This unexpected little gift, I really like it. Awesome, this prank was absolutely perfect. I'm really happy. Seeing Yang Qingmeng's satisfied expression, you smiled as well. Yang Qingmeng. It isn't called a prank. Can you skip the beginning part? Yeah, sure. A surprise, what's that? Let me think about how to explain it to you. It's something that makes people very happy because it's unexpected. So you mean a prank makes only me happy? But a surprise can make both of us happy? You can put it that way. Yang Qingmeng thought for a moment and then suddenly grasped your hand tightly, gazing at you intently. All right, I've decided. Decided what? Starting today, I won't prank you anymore. I'm going to give you surprises. Why? Don't you really like pranks? Because more than pranks, I like being happy with you. You paused for a moment, feeling somewhat bewildered. Well, I'll look forward to the surprises you have in store for me then. Okay. Yang Qingmeng gently let go of your hand and smiled. You actually know what a surprise is. Irina, you really seem like a human. Yang Qingmeng suddenly stared at your arm and couldn't help but exclaim, "This is blood." You quickly looked down and indeed found a slight abrasion on your arm with a small oozing of blood. This is... You couldn't hide your fear as you looked back up at Yang Qingmeng, who also appeared puzzled. Are you human? He took a step closer to you, and instinctively you took a step back. But you knew there was no escaping this. With a nervous heart, you admitted to Yang Qingmeng. Yes, I'm a female ghost. I'm a human. Now that you know this, what are you going to do? as if he saw through your anxiety and he gave you a reassuring. So he gave you a reassuring smile. Don't worry, I'm a mischief elf. I like pranking humans, but I won't eat them. Really, really. So much happened all at once, and I just noticed that your scent is different from usual. No wonder Bairomu gave you the amber bracelet. It was to conceal your human scent. You nodded and then implored young Xingman with a pleading look. Can you keep this secret for me? Actually, I wasn't planning to tell anyone. A human mingling with yaoguai is just too interesting. I don't think this is interesting at all. Young Xingman took out a handkerchief from his pocket and proceeded to bandage your wound. Let's patch up your wound for now, and when we get back, I'll apply some medicine. Thank you. It seems that young Xingman isn't the mastermind. Good thing my instincts kicked in when you fell off that cliff. I just knew I had to save you. Right. If I had really gotten lost in the mountains, there might have been a disaster. Don't worry, Mischief Elf are very familiar with the mountains. I live here all the time. The entire back mountain is like my garden. So no matter where you are in the mountain, I can find you. Really? Then if I ever get stuck in the mountain, you have to come and rescue me, okay? Okay, I promise. As you walk with young Xingman, talking and laughing, you both made your way towards the amusement park. Okay. So thanks for playing the demo for Falling for Yaoguai. Full version is already out. If you enjoy this story, please wishlist it to help more people see it. Thanks for playing. Yeah. What do I have to say about this? Actually, like during this last chapter, I felt that it was actually starting to get a bit more interesting and engaging. Because the two first chapters for me were kind of like, yeah, sure, you know, kind of still getting in the idea and the guys, and the translation is like, it is what it is. Then there's the humor that is very different, and I mean, we need to kind of like get used to it. But I didn't dislike it. Yes, it needed better music in here, and it needed a better translation in there. They really needed that. But it was, how to put it, it was kind of like fine, you know, and it was actually starting to get a bit more interesting, and I think it's like $7 or $8, something like that. And remember that yesterday we were seeing the other one that it was only like 2 or 3 hours and it was $5. So this one seems to take a lot more time and it's more interesting, and it's only like $7-8. So it's like, I would say it's better, you know. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know how long this would actually take, like in terms of hours. Yeah, I have no idea. But I'll leave it up to you. Yeah, you need to get with that feeling that you are going to like be saying the names of the guys a lot, because as I told you, they do not have this thing of like using pronouns, and so this is like probably an auto machine translation kind of thing. You're going to see their names constantly in there. And also, I am really sorry, I do not know Chinese, so I am really sorry for like saying it in ways that were probably not even closer to it. Okay, not even closer. So I mean, that's it. I was thinking about bringing another one, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able today to bring another one. So that's it. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for being in there. Thank you.